Hello, welcome to the Cupcake decorating class. My name is Christine and this is video 2 of 12. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make buttercream icing. To make your own buttercream icing is actually quite easy. However, I would highly recommend having a table mixer to do it. If you do it by hand, you're going to need a lot of arm power. The first thing we need is some Crisco all vegetable shortening. I like to buy these little packs because you need 1 cup and these are already in a cup. If you buy the larger one, you just have to make sure you cut off a cup portion. So I'm just going to open it here. Oops. And dump in my shortening. The next thing you can add in is some flavoring. Now I'm using imitation vanilla extract only because this is clear. Normally I like to bake with real vanilla, but this is clear, so if you want to make white icing, it won't change the color of your icing. Now if you're going to color your icing and you don't need white icing, then you can use the other vanilla, but just keep in mind that it will change the color. You need 1 teaspoon of your flavoring. Now you could also, instead of using vanilla, you could use almond extract or butter flavoring, mint. There's a whole slew of flavorings out there. So you add in your flavoring. And then you're going to need some water. And so I like to use these little spray bottles, and I'm going to do, say, about 8 teaspoons. So I just do this, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to be ending up to make a thick consistency of icing. So later on we'll probably be adding more water after our icing's complete. But for now we're just going to put in the 8. I'm going to just make sure my shortening is down there. Lock it up, and I'm just going to blend these items together. That is good enough for now. So now we want to add in our dry ingredients. So I am using powdered sugar, icing sugar. This is 1 pound. In Canada, we buy like 1 kilogram bag. So if you want, you can use half a kilogram, or I measured this out to be a pound. I think in the States you can buy 1 pound bag. So in and around a pound, half a kilogram. So we're going to dump that in there. And our last ingredient is meringue powder. And we need 1 tablespoon. Of meringue powder. So those are all our ingredients. So now I'm just going to put this on again, lock it, so it mixes and makes our icing. You want to start low, like a low speed, until all that icing sugar sort of gets with your shortening. Otherwise you'll have a big explosion of icing sugar all over the place. But you can see it's sort of crumbling now. So I'm going to turn it up a bit. Making sure it's locked. So you can see now it's combined, but I want it creamier. So I'm going to have it blend for another minute or so, just so it gets nice and creamy. probably be fine. So I lift it up and then just use a spatula to get all this off your paddle. Don't want to waste any of our icing. If you have kids, they might want to lick the rest, but it is sweet. So I'll put that aside and pull off my bowl. And there we have our icing. So as you can see, it is a stiff icing, but we're going to work with it a bit more, and we're also going to color it. So I took my icing and I divided it into 3 and put it into these reusable containers. As I mentioned before, I like to use these because I can do all my mixing right in here and then just put a lid on it. So this one here, I've already colored with some teal. And this one here, I thinned it already and decided to keep it white because I always need some white icing as well. So I'm going to put those two aside and show you the process with this 3rd container. So as I mentioned, I like to use these water bottles. And what I'll do is I'll just squeeze some water into my icing like that. And then I'm taking my spatula and just working in that water. I'm looking for a medium consistency here. Most of what I'm doing, what I'll be showing you today, we need medium icing. So not too thick, not too thin. Now if you were, say, going to do a cake, then you might want a nice thin icing because you want to cover that cake without picking up all the little crumbs off it. So you'd want to make sure you have a nice thin icing. If you were going to do some heavier flour work or something, you might want a thicker icing. But I basically want a medium icing. This is looking pretty good here. You can see it. It's soft but still holds its shape. So from here, I want to add some color. Now, I mentioned earlier, I like to use these gel icing colors. So we'll open it up and I'll show you. What you do is you take a toothpick and I just put it in there. Now, if I wanted a little bit of color, just a light tint, I would only put a tiny bit in. This will do fairly dark. You see, I just put my toothpick in and it's covered with the dye. I'm going to put it in there, close this up. So one of these would last you a long time. Now what you don't want to do is if it's in here, don't put your toothpick back into the container. Always take a fresh toothpick to do this so you don't contaminate your color. And then I just use my spatula to get off some of that color. You can put it a few times to pick up some excess. And then I'm just going to put this aside on a napkin or throw it right in the garbage. And then we work that color in. Now if you do your color and you find it's too dark, you can always add white icing into it to make it lighter. And the other tip too is if you wanted to do a lot of cupcakes or cake decorating and you wanted the exact same color, then do the whole bunch at once, because every time you do this, you're going to get a different shade of the color. You never have this exact same amount of icing to color, so it's always going to vary a little. So if you are wanting them all to be uniform color, do all your icing at once. So you can see what a nice purple we're getting with that small amount of dye. Now you don't want to use the liquidy dyes, you want the gel dyes, because the liquid, you'd have to put almost the whole bottle in. These gels don't change the consistency of the icing, but give you a really nice color. So that's pretty much done there. So now we need to fill our bag. So I have my disposable bag here and I have my coupler. And I put that in. So I have it that it's tight in there. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and just put it around there. And that just sort of, if I didn't get it all, I can cut that off, but it's an easy way to cut exactly where you need to go. And then I'm going to, because I don't know yet which tip I'm going to use, I'm just going to put my coupler on like that. So now I can put any tip I want on here when it's time to decorate. So bring my icing back. I'm going to fold my bag down. And just spoon it in. Now I probably won't put all of this. If you have too much icing in your bag, it makes it harder to squeeze it. So I always tend to make just a little too much to put it all in. So I think I'll just put that much in. I have a lid. I can put the lid on this and put it aside for when I need to refill. And then I just push it down closer to the bottom. And then I can spin it, and there it is at the end. So now our icing bag is ready to go. And that's how we make our icing, color icing, and prepare our icing to decorate. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and check out the other 11 cupcake decorating class videos at our YouTube channel, Scrap Time Videos. See you next time. Bye-bye.